Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. After observing, Tony Harrison's performance, at the end of the day, he gave a valid effort. But, like I said before, just breaking down the fight, you know, he just got predictable. It's just like he didn't switch up until like the second half of the fight. And he didn't switch up very much. I thought Tony Harris's best way to win the fight was to use the jab, but at the same time throw more combinations. And he just didn't want to do it. And I think when he started to get nailed with those hard shots by, Tszyu, it kind of made him hesitant. At the end of the day, you could watch a fighter's demeanor and tell he's a little worried, and then he's not sure of himself. And then you kind of wonder, is the fighter going into basically survivor mode where he basically knows that the fight is out of reach, but he just don't want to get knocked out. Like I said, as far as the stoppage go, I thought that, the ref should have been jumped in to stop the fight because he took unnecessary punishment. And like I said, when you turn your head against the ropes and the referee is supposed to have the vision to where, okay, he's turning his head, that means he doesn't want to take any more punishment. That means he's like, he's basically submitting and giving up. But at the end of the day, that was just the problem. Tszyu was just too much for the dude. He was just too much. Like I said, Tszyu, he fought a great fight. He can dish it out as well as he could take it. He got a solid, chin. He's been dropped before. But like I said before, Charlo is going to be a different animal. But it is going to be a great fight. That fight might not go the distance. That fight may not go the distance. Real talk. And it's going to be a hell of a fight. One thing about Tim Tszyu, like I said, he isn't lightning quick, but precision punching. He has good timing. He has good reflexes. You don't have to be, you don't have to be a speed demon to win fights. It just come down to timing and precision punching. And Tszyu doesn't like to waste punches. So that's how you win fights. He doesn't waste punches. And like I said, his precision punching was just on point. And that's what shook Tony Harrison up. I don't know what's next for Tony Harrison. I kind of broke that down in the live stream. I think Tony Harrison, and like I said, I got a lot of love for Tony Harrison because he's a good dude, man. He really is. But I think, as far as him headlining the fight or getting a big fight, I think now, I'm not going to say he's journeyman status, but he's what you call, he's an undercard fighter now. He's been demoted down to basically being an undercard fight, like somebody you put maybe right before the main event. If you have, a televised broadcast, maybe he's the first or the second fight to the main event. Usually it's a 3 or 4 card, 3 or 4 fight card. So that's where he is now. I don't think he's all the way done, but as far as him being a contender, that might be over for him. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you can box. And I just think at this point, him being in his early 30s, you just can't fix that chin. He just doesn't have a good chin. And I think he has to accept it, and I think his fans have to accept it. At the end of the day, the previous fights that he had lost, he was like at least in competitive fights, or he was winning the fight. But after the second round, it was just all Tszyu. And you have to be honest. Do I think Tony Harrison should consider retirement? Not yet. But if Tony Harrison loses 1 or 2 more or even 3 fights, all by getting stopped, then yeah. Because if you look at all 4 of his losses, he's been stopped in all his fights. So that's the problem. And unfortunately, he doesn't have Julian Jackson power. So that's the problem. But Tim Tszyu, to me, I feel like with this performance, we wanted to see how good he really was. and he proved himself in this fight. And we got to give a dude his credit. Tim Tszyu is a tough dude. So, like I said, as far as Tony Harrison go, like I said, unfortunately, it's going to be a very long plane ride back to Detroit. I don't know how long he's going to be on that plane, but he's going to be on that plane for a while. And I could tell Tony Harrison was hurt, physically and mentally. When you lose fights like that, those get to you. And it's just going to take a while. And a lot of people believe that Tony Harrison just ain't been the same since he lost his father. And that could be part of it. But, at the end of the day, Tony Harrison, had been stopped in previous fights. So I don't know how factual that is. But nevertheless, hopefully I get the chance to talk to Tony Harrison. I like Tony Harrison. He's a cool dude. Real talk. But anyway, just wanted to give my opinion. I'll talk about Tszyu next. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.